We're here today to celebrate a very auspicious occasion, a major grant for our Office of Neighborhood Safety. And before I introduce Sam VAUGHN to talk about it, I want to tell you a little bit about the history of the Office of Neighborhood Safety. It actually goes back to the time when Irma Anderson was mayor, and Irma was a public health nurse, and you know, we'd always looked at violence as a police issue and law enforcement issue, and it was her idea to look at it through the lens of a public health issue. And she convened some workshops. She brought in some people she knew from Boston, and they talked about a program they had in Boston. And this evolved ultimately into the Office of Neighborhood Safety, and Devon Bogan was brought in, and he actually started it. And you know, we believe it was and is a very effective program. So I'm going to start by introducing Sam VAUGHN, our Office of Neighborhood Safety Deputy Director, to tell you a little bit more about it. But I want to tell you a little bit about Sam first. He began working with the City of Richmond's Office of Neighborhood Safety in 2008 as a peacekeeper. Eventually, he was hired and promoted to a neighborhood change agent, program coordinator, program manager, and now serves as Deputy Director. During his time with the city, Sam managed the nationally recognized Operation Peacekeeper Fellowship, presented at numerous conferences, strengthened partnerships with government and community-based organizations, and helped ONS receive millions in grant funds. ONS continues to serve as a national model for effective violence prevention and intervention strategies. So I want to call Sam forward, and he can tell you a little bit more about the program.
Thank you very much. In all honesty, I don't need to say much. The mayor did a great job. As he said, the office began in 2007 is when the charter changed and opened our office, but it began a long time before that with all the work from the community members and the council members alike, trying to think of innovative ways to solve an issue that had plagued this community and many other communities like it across this country. One thing that was very unique is this was the first Office of Violence Prevention in the country. It was a hard pill to swallow, so to speak. A lot of people did not want to see, as the mayor said, a lot of folks didn't want to see folks who were doing these types of acts get help instead of punishment. So looking at it from a public health lens, looking at it from a lens of disease infecting others, we considered this as an inoculation. We considered this as a vaccine, and who better to create a vaccine than those who were infected by the disease in the first place? And so this was the creation of the office. Outreach workers hit the street in 2008, and we have seen reduction in crime since the beginning of this office. And how do we measure our success? A lot of people ask that. What metrics do you use to measure the success of the office? And the only metrics we use is there a reduction in homicides and shootings with the injury? Is there less victims in our community, which creates less trauma, which creates more hope, which gives an opportunity for those who live, work, and play here, safety and well-being. As I said, we were the first Office of Violence Prevention in this country. Since our inception, there have been 35 other offices of violence prevention sitting in city government across this country. The other thing that makes us unique is although there's 35 more, there is not one single other office of violence prevention that strictly and only deals with gun violence. And once again, because it's a hard political sell. So a lot of folks have added domestic violence, gang violence, youth violence, but we still specific to gun violence. And because we've been able to keep the reductions that we've had, and we've been able to sustain 65 to 82% reduction in gun violence that has led to injury or death over the last 10 years. And what that has done is once again, it's created a city where I don't mind my child playing soccer. I'm not afraid of my child walking to the basketball court or going to the store. It creates a sense of ease and pause and well-being. This city and many cities like it have had tremendous loss, life, sanity, financial loss from gun violence, and we're glad to be a part. I don't say we're the only part, but we are a part of creating a healthy and safe city, and we're proud of that. And one of the ways we're able to do that is by having great dedicated staff. One of those staff members will come up now. His name is James Houston. He's program manager for the City of our Office of Neighborhood Safety, and he is a dedicated public servant who gives his all to this work. James?
Good morning. I was supposed to speak about one individual, but I couldn't focus on one. I want to talk about a community who embraced the values of ONS and allowed us to become family. When we started this engaging with these young people, it was difficult. They ran, they didn't want to speak, they thought we were the police, and then eventually one unfortunately became incarcerated. One of our team members stayed in contact with that individual, writing, accepting phone calls, and eventually they came around. And eventually the whole group of young men decided to embrace us and become family. And with that, I remember we went on a trip, and one of the young people was checking out the military, and he told him, he was ragging on him, getting on him, saying, you know, we don't do that, that's the police and this and that. And then eventually, he's now, went and got his guard card, and now he's working security. So it's an amazing shift, and getting them to realize that not to put limitations on yourself, because all that does is locks you into a box. And so with that, we have seen them get multiple jobs. They attend life skills, and many of them come on their own. We don't have to go pick them up. They bring themselves to City Hall and attend every week the classes. And so we see them grow. And with that, we thank you, CalVIP, for giving us the opportunity to be able to be there for them. And we thank you, City of Richmond, and the council members for allowing us to do the work that we are able to do. And we look forward to your continued support. Thank you.
So, as James just said, excuse me, we do definitely appreciate CalVIP's continued support. The City of Richmond put in the initial investment to get staffing, but we realized that resources were very, they definitely weren't rich in the communities that we were serving. We were serving a community that has been denied basic fundamental support. And with CalVIP, and with the fight of Assemblymember WICKS and a lot of her colleagues to fight for more funding so more cities could see the results that the City of Richmond and other cities have received from the benefit of those funds. So with those resources, it literally, we just put it right back in the community. The only thing that doesn't hit the community is the mandatory evaluation costs. But other than that, every dollar from CalVIP goes into the community. It goes into our CBO partners, hospital-based interventions, reentry services, diversion programs, and then also to fund our Operation Peacemaker Fellowship, which the mayor mentioned earlier, which has become a nationally and somewhat internationally recognized program that can create drastic results. Because if you bring the humanity back into communities that have felt like they have been neglected for generations, and it takes generations to see the complete results, but you have to start somewhere and you have to be committed to that investment, and that's one thing that the City of Richmond has done. 15 years later, we are still here. CalVIP, which was CalGRIP, started 14 years ago. They're still here. And with the support of the Assembly members and the voters, we hope that it continues to stay. But we're looking forward to $6 million to put into this community to help heal, to help folks strive, to bring hope to a place that was hopeless and dealt with despair for a long time. We're looking forward to partnering with the West Contra Costa Unified School District, and we're looking forward to touching a few demographics that we did not have the resources to do prior. And so it's going to be a challenge, but we're excited about it. We take challenges head on, and we have not failed yet. And so we can appreciate the opportunity. And with that, I will say this. Although you were here to honor us, to honor CalVIP, I would like to honor the City of Richmond, and not only my staff, because without them, none of this would be possible. But they're on the ground doing the work, but there's a lot of work that's done behind the scenes. As we were discussing earlier, we wouldn't be able to do this without the city manager's support, without the council and the mayor's support, without finance working with us and dealing with some issues that, you know, most city departments don't have to deal with because we're different. We don't run like a normal city department. So folks have to get innovative. They have to embrace change. The HR department, there's a lot that goes on behind the scenes that helps us function that they don't get the credit for as well. So I want to just make sure that I'm honoring the infrastructure of this city that allows us to do our work. So with that, I will say thank you very much, and we appreciate all your support.
Okay, thank you, Sam. Now it's my pleasure and privilege to introduce the person who was most responsible for this grant, Assemblymember BUFFY WICKS. She is the state legislator most responsible for the significant gains and contributions to the California Violence Intervention and Prevention Program, CalVIP or CalVIP, since its inception in 2017. In 2019, she pushed to codify CalVIP into a statute with Assembly Bill 1603, along with a 3-year, $39 million budget ask to fund the program. Then in the 2021 budget cycle, she secured $200 million in one-time funding across 3 years, plus an additional $9 million. In addition to her tireless work on gun violence and prevention efforts, she is also one of our state's top housing champions, and this year became chair of the Assembly Housing Committee. Her work focuses on issues such as expansion of the social safety net, privacy, championing the rights of women and working families. A lifelong career community organizer, Assemblymember WICKS previously served on both of President Barack Obama's campaigns and worked with him in the White House. And I happen to also know that she competes in Ironman triathlons. She's tough.
Thanks. Thank you, Mayor. You should say I have competed in past tense in an Ironman, because I haven't done that since I've had 2 kids. That's my new Ironman, is being a mom. I want to thank the mayor, city council members, and the Office of Neighborhood Safety, and those around here, and everyone else, because I know it takes a village to really combat this issue. You know, at the end of the day, the truth of the matter is that gun violence impacts all of us. Some of us more than others. You know, I've worked on this issue. I've championed CalVIP, as the mayor said. I got it codified into state law, and then every year have carried the budget ask for more funding across the state of California to support CalVIP programs. And I will say, Richmond has led the way in this country on this issue, and has done innovative work to solve this problem. And the reason why Richmond is led is because you've had to. And you've had to figure out how do you deal with this issue, because you are experiencing it every single day. And my own story, you know, my husband runs Gabby Gifford's organization, Congresswoman Giffords, who was shot in December 2009, shot in the head, and she survived, and many others that were with her that day didn't, including a 9-year-old girl. And so my husband was her legislative director. He'd actually been working for her for 5 days when she was shot in the head. And he helped manage her office and her retirement from Congress. And then when Newtown happened, when 26-year-olds were killed in a classroom and 6 adults, they co-founded Giffords, the organization. And so all of those stories are incredibly heart-wrenching. It changes people's lives. It obviously changed Mark and Gabby's life. It changed my husband's life and many other people. But here's the reality in America. When we have a big mass shooting in Las Vegas or, you know, Parkland or Uvalde, these are heart-wrenching events, and they capture the media attention on the issue, which is horrible, and we have to do everything we can to end those. And I say that also now as a mom with a kindergartner who's talked to me about the lockdown drills that she learns in school, where she has to hide under the desk and be really quiet so no one hears her. Those are horrible. But here's the reality. For far too long, we have left behind Black and brown communities who suffer every single day from gun violence in their communities. And those don't capture the national attention of the media, and they should. And for far too long, politicians, too many politicians have ignored the plight of these communities. And so the reason why CalVIP is important is because it's investing directly in the communities which are hardest hit on gun violence every single day. And they say your budget are your values. And so for me, my values are investing in these communities that need these resources, investing in these young men and women who are doing this work every single day in our communities. And this work is not easy. And this work is hard, and this work is scary. And I have faith in the people who are in these communities every single day, being change agents and doing everything they can to fix this problem. And it's important that we recognize that these programs are about hiring from within and trying to lift up people from within community. It's not out-of-towners coming in and dictating how a community should operate. It's people from within the community, from those neighborhoods, from those streets. And it's important that we as a state invest in those folks. So I am proud to lead the charge in the California State Legislature to fight for more funding every single year for CalVIP. It's a program that we know works. We know there's other things we need to do. We know we need comprehensive background checks. We know it's too easy to get guns. We continue to work on those things, but we can also literally put our money where our mouth is and invest in these communities. And it's time for us to say no more of neglect in these communities. It's time for us to invest. So with that, I'm so proud to have been part of the team to secure $6 million for the City of Richmond Office of Neighborhood Safety.
Thank you so much, Buffy. And we have 3 city council members with us today who would like to say a few words. I'll start with Vice Mayor Eduardo Martinez.
Thank you. We have reallocated public safety money, some to ONS, some to train young people to become better citizens, to find jobs. But the reason we did that is because we know that ONS comes from a culture of hope. And that's the way we want to move. We want to move towards a culture of hope where everyone feels that they belong, where everyone feels that they have a chance to step up and become a member of our society in good standing. So I want to thank Buffy, I want to thank the City of Richmond, and I want to thank all of you for being here to celebrate this moment. This is a momentous occasion, and Richmond will be much better. We will see less crime, we will see more smiling faces, we will see a community that is becoming empowered. So thank you.
Councilmember Nat Bates.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Mayor, and thank you, Assemblymember WICKS, a longtime excellent friend of the City of Richmond. Thank you, Sam, and your organization for the work that you do on a daily basis. This money obviously is going to make a tremendous impact upon the City of Richmond. And your work with the ONS and others is just testimony to why our great Assemblywoman WICKS fought so hard for us. And we want to know, Assemblywoman, we are proud of you. We're going to make you proud of this program, and we're going to make it tremendously successful. So thank you again, and let's keep on doing what we have to do. Excellent work, all of you members of the ONS. Thank you.
And Councilmember CLAUDIA JIMENEZ.
I am short, so I had to. Hi, everybody. Thank you for being here. This is really a great moment. Thank you, Assemblymember WICKS, for fighting along with the City of Richmond to secure this fund. But I want to say that I want to thank Sam Baum. Your commitment and your love for Richmond is what has made ONS a success. Thank you so much, and thank you all the staff for risking your life for all of us. I wanted to say that Richmond had reimagined in public safety for a long time, and ONS is an example of that. And I don't want to tell the data because the data shows that. But I also want to thank all the members of the Reimagining Public Safety Task Force who worked really hard, and one of the proposals was to double the budget of ONS. And I want to thank the City Council members that, along with me, voted yes to support and approve that budget. As Assemblymember WICKS said, the budget represents our values. So thank you, Councilmember McLaughlin, thank you, Councilmember Willis, and thank you, Vice Mayor Eduardo Martinez, who along with me voted yes to reallocate the resources and bring $2 million for the budget of ONS so that they could be able to apply and today bring back to the City of Richmond $6 million from the state. This could not have happened if we had not been able to allocate more resources to ONS at the city level. So this is a teamwork from the city and teamwork with Assemblymember WICKS at the state level to say, yes, we need to continue to reimagine public safety and to continue put the money in the Black and brown communities so that we, as a mother as well, can enjoy a safety city for all of us, not for just one and few. So thank you, and again, thank you, Sam Baum. And I will say in public, as long as I am a city council, you will have my full support. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Well, again, thank you everyone for coming. This is, you got one? Okay. Oh, we have all right, the presentation, okay. Come on.